Hi, everyone. I'm Andy Dunn. I'm the founder of Pie and the host of the Humble Pie podcast. For today's episode of Humble Pie, I'm so excited to have Kevin White on the show. Kevin is the founder of the KW Experience, which is one of the absolute best ways to get to know the city, get together with people, new friends, and old friends. He's got such a remarkable story and journey from how he went from corporate America to talking about corporate America to being one of the great conveners of people in our city. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kevin, what is the KW Experience? Tell us about what you do and what your focus is on these days.
Yeah, the KW Experience is essentially revamping the social scene. So putting more so of a green light on Chicago and talking about like highlighting our city while also bringing people together in different ways, whether it's, a sexy night of R&B music, whether it's a workout, whether it's a full-blown, activation experience, mechanical bull riding, basketball tournaments, etc. Just building different things for different people in the city, so you have plenty of options on things to do.
And how many events are you doing a month, let's say?
I don't try to oversaturate. I try to do something once to twice a month, but especially like into 2026, we'll be having a lot of large-scale activations, different things that people haven't seen in Chicago yet.
One of the things I think is remarkable about you is the way you take your online audience and convert folks into offline. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about the origin story of you as a community builder. How did this all get going?
One of my business partners, I think around now 1.5 2 years ago, he reached out to me and he was like, have you ever hosted an event before? And I was like, no, I'm not really familiar with that scene in Chicago. And he was like, every time I look you up, on TikTok, as far as Chicago recommendations, like all of your videos are the first that I see. So I was like, okay, cool. So it was around St. Patty's Day. It was in Wicker Park at what used to be the Delta. Made a video for him. We sold out. I didn't really think too much of it just because it's around St. Patrick's Day. That is a day that everybody is looking to go out.
Wait, how did you sell out though? Tell us about that. Like, how many followers did you have? What kind of work had you done before on socials? Like, how did that happen so fast?
Yeah, at the time, like I was building my TikTok and I wasn't really posting on Instagram as far as the same content.
And why'd you pick TikTok first? Just organically felt more comfortable, or was there a reason behind that?
Yeah, so I had already a personal TikTok page like everybody does and just kind of playing around with it. And then I created another one in 2023 and I was like, I'm really going to grow this and like see where it goes. So at that time, I think I had around 40 to 50,000 followers.
Yeah.
Just kind of posted a rundown of what the event was going to be, what you should feel like, throw in some of my own banter and whatnot. The video did around 7,000 to 8,000 views. That was a lower performing video for me at the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the conversion was going to be like for selling tickets for something.
Yeah.
I think it had around 300, 400 shares. So I was good on the analytics. I was like, okay, like this could be going out to 600, 800, 900 people. It gets sent to some group chats. And he told me, he's like, I've never sold anything out for real, especially in another city.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's do it again.
That's crazy. And it was just kind of like a link in bio and it was.
Yeah. So the video was probably 1.5 minutes.
Okay.
Just talking about St. Patty's Day plans. Typically St. Patty's, like it's a lot of bar crawls.
Yeah.
If it's not a bar crawl, maybe a house party. So something that's a little bit more, we'll call it curated. I feel like that got a lot of people's attention.
Wait, so what was it? It wasn't at a bar?
I mean, it was more so that it was quote unquote exclusive. So it was Mimosa Club. That's like the tag.
It was a little classier.
Yeah, a little bit classier, some champagne deals, things around that. So it wasn't just your typical 5 to 6 bars and just be out into the wilderness.
What was the location?
It was the Delta in Wicker Park.
Okay.
They've closed now, but yes.
And tell me a little bit about that, like climbing Cringe Mountain part of things. Like people hear 30 or 40,000 followers, and of course it makes sense that then you can make a difference, right?
Yeah.
You can bring people out. A lot of people hearing this might be thinking, I want to bring people out, but I have 300 followers. How do I get to 1,000 or 2,500 when you're in those early days of trying to figure out how to convert an online audience into getting people together offline?
Yeah.
Tell us about the very beginning of that. How did it get going?
My experience is different from a lot of people. So like when people reach out to me and ask me this question, my first event was literally a collaboration while also already having some sort of established following. I feel like the difference though was once you start posting on Instagram. So TikTok is a little bit easier because typically your videos are going out into the universe and people don't really know you
Yeah.
versus trying to now convert on Instagram, which at the time I had like 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
Those are all people that I just accumulated over my life.
That was friends of friends, family.
Friends of friends,
Okay.
you know. Instagram is a little bit more judgmental, you know,
Yeah.
versus TikTok. I think it was easier for me just because one, I didn't know any of the back end. I didn't know operations, the business, you know, let's say you have to hit a food and beverage minimum. I had none of that. It was more so, hey, I'm going to bring you on as a host, help me sell out this event in your city, and then we could talk about collaboration. So after I got to my first event by myself, that's kind of where I was like, all of this is going to be on me if I fail, you know?
And when you were first starting on TikTok, where you felt like you could just throw it out there, what kind of stuff were you talking about?
Yeah.
You like even before you started getting into events, like what were you saying?
Certain things I still talk about now. So I started my platform just corporate career talk.
Okay.
So I wanted to build something where I could speak on things every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in corporate for the past 8.5, 9 years, had some like very good mentors. So
You're not anymore.
still am.
Okay.
Still am.
Wait, I didn't even know about this. Where do you work?
I'm an IT manager for a software company that operates in the supply chain space. So my first month on TikTok, I posted 73 videos, just trying to see what was sticking.
Going for it.
Yeah, what really wasn't working, kind of like my cadence, my style. So I really wanted to expedite the process. So that first month, I was like, all right, let me see if I could get 1,000 followers. If I could do that, I think I can make it work. So after my first month, I had like 4,000 to 5,000. I was like, okay, I could do it myself.
You were kind of stoked, right?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, especially just.
And what were you saying?
My first video actually did very well. It did like 25 to 30,000 views.
The very first
video, talking about the struggles of the job market in this like post-COVID era. So that was 2023, because in 2022 I got laid off. So that's what kind of inspired me to like, okay, let me talk about the job journey, like salaries, how to get a 6-figure job, different things in the world that pertain to marketing. You know, I'm very big into that. So
did you talk about getting laid off as well?
Yes, I've talked about that like plenty of times, especially early on, and just like the journey of going through like nobody really thinks about getting laid off, especially you get your job out of college. You're like, I'm just going to work forever. I'm going to work and just like go up the ladder and do different things versus, okay, you're getting laid off and then going through 9 months of expenses of your emergency fund. Like, oh yeah, I'm building an emergency fund, but I'm never going to use it. Oh, but now I'm using it and I'm depleting everything.
You had an emergency fund?
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. And do you have advice for people out there? Maybe someone today is, what's a good way to process that? Or like, how did you, because it seems like you bounced back pretty quick, but was it quick or did it take you a minute?
I would say in hindsight, it was quick, but at the time it felt like forever. I would say take a deep breath. When I got laid off, I was all over the place. I was just like, it was unfamiliar territory, which I feel like a lot of people in their 20s, I think I was 25 at the time, 26. I was like, what am I going to do? Am I ever going to work? Like, it was just, you just get all over the place. And I called my dad. He's like, you're fine. He's like, I've been laid off plenty of times. I've been fired. And it's just like.
I like your dad.
Yeah,
he's advising you on the, having the fund.
He's a very stoic, and he's been through a lot in life. So all of the trials and tribulations that I brought up to him, they don't really, I don't want to say they don't mean much, but he's just like, you can overcome that. I've been through so much more, not to diminish anything that you're saying, but.
Was he your first phone call?
My mom was, and she was so heartbroken, as any mother is, because I was telling her about the happy hour and everything the next day. And she was like, oh my goodness, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So I called her. I called my dad, called a couple of my cousins. And then I was just like, all right, what's the next steps? After a couple hours of just like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world.
Should we just shame this company right now?
No,
we don't need to. We don't need to. Okay, so now how long between that day and when you put out this TikTok to see what that would be like? Were those things connected or not really?
I think it was July 14, 2022, layoff, and then TikTok. I called my cousin February 26th of 2023. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to get very big on TikTok in my own way, shape, or form. And he
called it like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was like, if anybody can do it, then I know you can do it. And then March 1st, 2023, I started. So I gave myself a 48-hour window. Called my best friend, too. I was like, I'm going to start on TikTok. He's like, you want to be a TikToker? I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. He was like, all right, let's see. But
how long were you unemployed for?
From July 14th till March 13th of 2023.
It's funny how you remember that day, right?
Like certain like
It's
moments
just-
in your life
it's-
just get like ingrained in you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that 7-month journey, lots of ups and downs managing that, or was it like you found your footing? And how did you think about what you wanted to do next and go and get that above and beyond, becoming TikTok?
Yeah, it was more so just like, okay, I'm halfway through my 20s. I'm entering my late 20s. What do I want my life to look like as I'm approaching 30 years old? So I have a 5-year window. So it was a lot of just like searching
Yeah.
of what I want to do. The first 2 months, I'm just like, whatever, like I'm gonna have some fun. And you get to month 3, oh, I don't have a job. Month 4, month 5, I'm like, oh, this is crazy, so.
So you drop this TikTok and it does well. Tell us about the journey then from like building this following, deciding to do something with it to bring people together in real life.
The first month I posted 73 videos to just kind of see what I wanted to talk about.
Was it fast? Like you would just make one, or were you more planful and
No.
do a bunch of takes?
No, the first month, even now, like my videos, since it's not crazy editing, I'll be thinking about things. Like I'm thinking about things right now that I'm like, I'll talk about this next Thursday.
Okay.
So like at that time, I was just throwing darts. That's my favorite thing to talk about. Just like, you have to throw darts at a dartboard to eventually
TikTok's
hit
a
a
little
bullseye.
bit more forgiving doing that than
Correct.
Instagram, right? Yeah.
Correct. So the first month I did that, I kind of took a month off because I just started my new job. So April, I didn't really post much. And then my buddy called me. He's like, what happened? I'm like, all right, let me get back on it. And then my first brand deal was with Glassdoor, and that came around like June. And I remember.
And they reached out to you? Or
Yeah.
You just got a DM?
They reached out to me on Instagram.
Okay. What'd they say?
They say, hey, we love your career corporate content on TikTok. Would you want to create videos, pay partnership? I was like, hell yeah.
And can you tell people just how that works if they get that message? Like, okay, I get the DM now. What do I do? I guess I say.
They outlined everything very like effectively for me, and they were like, we'll reach out to you via email from said rep.
Okay.
So they started that email thread. They went through what they wanted for a trial brand deal that could be renewed. So it was 3 videos. And the first, I called my buddy because I didn't have any content creator friends for real.
Yeah.
I was like, what do I charge? He was like, I don't know. How would I know? So I gave them a 4-figure rate.
Yeah.
It's my first brand deal. I had like 5,000 followers, and they were just like, yeah, it's fine. I was like, oh, I probably could have charged you more, but I didn't know. So my first video.
So 4-figure for 3 videos.
Correct.
Okay. Were you pretty excited when you?
Oh, yeah, I didn't really tell anybody. I told a couple of my buddies. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I see people on TikTok talk about they have 500,000 followers, never had a brand deal.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew. I was like, okay, since I'm talking about a certain thing, and I asked my rep, like our email thread is like 700 emails. I was like, why did you guys pick me? They were like, you have 5,000 followers and you've posted over 100 something videos, corporate career. Whether they hit the for you or not, you have a following that are following you for career and corporate talk. And all of your points, they all align with what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. And how did your community react to that when you put it out?
My first like paid partnership video, which they say those get suppressed, my average view rate was like anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000, but some videos would just go. Mm-hmm. So the first video was 600 views. I was like, all right. And then the second video did 1 million. I was like, oh.
Wait, what? Like, what was that one about? What made that one different than the first one? 600, 1 million?
The first video was so bad. Like, it was just, I'm surprised they approved it. It was so bad, the editing and whatnot. I was doing like just transitions, like swirling transitions. It was just crazy.
Okay.
But the second video was just very real, raw, and authentic. Mm-hmm. So when I thought paid partnership, I'm like, oh, this has to be some sort of elaborate cap cut, editing and all of this stuff. And they were just like, just be you. Yeah. Just be you. So the second video, I think I was talking about, if I remember correctly, just salary transparency for different companies.
Okay.
Because it was Glassdoor. So, you go to Glassdoor, you can see all the salaries.
Like sharing what different people make?
Yeah.
Or sharing how people should figure out what other people.
So for Glassdoor at that time, they weren't concerned about, Glassdoor doesn't sell a product.
Yeah.
They were looking at downloads.
Yeah.
So they gave me a link, and they're tracking metrics on downloads per my link.
Okay.
So I was talking about salary transparency for different tech companies. So I'm
And
like,
it was like, hey, come to Glassdoor because you can
Yeah.
learn what people make.
you know, so I'm like, if you're interviewing for a project manager role, see what the average is in your state, your city. I'm just like, oh, like you could be making 150K, but you get an offer for 120, so
Yeah.
you need to negotiate effectively. And it just went.
So did you ask for a 5-figure number the next time?
Oh, after that video, they renewed me for 13 videos.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this is crazy.
That's cool.
And the difference between, shout out to Glassdoor, they paid up front, which a lot of companies, they do net 30, net 60, net 90. They paid everything up front.
Wait, now that you said that, can I get paid for this podcast? So this is so interesting because I feel like there's so many people in this world, not that many, but so many that build an online following, right? Like you got the social followings going.
Yeah.
But I feel like most people, it's okay, don't actually give a shit about in-person community. And yet you do. Like, why? And how did you get that going after the St. Patty's Day, first event that you alluded to?
Yeah, I've always been a person, and something that I talk about. I remember I told somebody this, and they were just like in awe. I said, I'm on a quest to meet everybody. And they was like, what does that mean? I just love meeting people. There's so many different stories, backgrounds, so many different connections. And the Chicago scene to me was a little bit lacking. Whether I researched what was happening, I did not. I'm just like, all right, I'm going to West Loop. I'm going to Old Town.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I want to start going out with a purpose. When you're 21, 22, 23, you can go anywhere. And it's like, the night is fun. But now as you get older, all right, what are we doing? Is it going to be worth it? So I'm like, let's start creating things like that. And then
I haven't gotten older yet. I heard that's what it's like. So maybe...
I mean, it's just like, for me, some of the reception that I get that means a lot is whether it's people finding a friend, building a relationship, a business partner, or just doing things that they see in other cities that haven't been brought here yet. They enjoy it.
So how did this all lead to the KW experience? How did that come to be?
After my collaboration, so after we did St. Patty's Day, we did 2 rooftop events.
But those weren't yours, right? They were someone else's, and you were
I was just hosting them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just hosting them. So after the first rooftop event, that was like my first video on Instagram that didn't really relate to just Instagram dump of just, whatever.
It was the first that was kind of commercial.
Exactly. So it did well. It did 10,000 views. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like,
and you were inviting people out for that?
Yeah.
And what were you inviting them to?
It was a day party with a champagne sponsor we had. I believe it was at Chandon or something like that.
And were you selling tickets to that?
Yeah.
Like champagne was free?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we sold out in like 10 days. So I think we did like 300 tickets or whatnot.
How much was a ticket roughly?
25.
Okay.
Something like that.
Was that an exciting day to be like, wait, I can bring people together and make money, and have fun? Was that kind of a...
Yeah, so like for me and how I describe it to people, like the money isn't really like the driving factor. It's more so the conversion. So, I mean, it goes hand in hand, but it's like, okay, I'm putting something into the universe. We'll call it a paywall behind it, and people are coming. They're also enjoying it, and then they're asking, when is the next one?
Yeah, I got it.
So we did one in July, and then we did the same event in August.
Yeah.
And that sold out in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is cool. So then I wanted to do an end of summer event myself.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna take all the risk. I did it at Tarot Tavern, which is like in Printers Row, South Loop area. And I remember I posted on TikTok. I made this video on purpose, and I tell people being very intentional with like playing on the psyche. I made the video. I said, Chicago, I'm trying to host the biggest end of summer party Chicago has seen, and I need your help.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a venue.
Yeah.
I need DJs. And I need you to come.
Yeah.
So the video did like 500,000
So
views.
endearing the way you say it. Like right at the, it's like, I want to come now.
Exactly.
I'm in.
Exactly. So I think it did like 200 to 500,000. I don't remember the number. I had 15 to 20 venues reach out to me.
Yeah.
I already had a couple of
Wow.
dudes.
Okay, so you reached out with the idea for the party.
Correct.
Or the event, but you didn't have a venue yet.
I didn't know where I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it somewhere that hasn't really been tapped before.
Yeah.
So Tarot Tavern, they reached out to me.
See, I think that's so cool though, right? Because most people feel like you got to put a finished product out into the world, but it turns out, as a startup person myself, like it's never a finished product.
No.
So it's sometimes okay to put out something partial or a start and be like, hey, and now people feel invested in it, right? Because they're contributing to it.
Correct. Because like you're learning as you go.
Yeah.
Every day is a learning experience. So Tarot Tavern, they reached out to me. They gave me like the financials and whatnot. So I ran it by my partner. my business partner. I was like, does this make sense? And he was like, yeah, like it makes sense.
Sounds like getting fired was one of the best things that happened to you, right? Would you see it that way or not really?
I say that. I said if I would have never got laid off, I don't think I would be here right now.
Yeah.
Doing all the things that I'm doing. I remember that one. I was like, I want to be a little bit different. So I made a follow-up video. And then I was like, the tickets are going to drop at noon on this day.
It's funny. I think like this, you probably heard the saying, door closes, window opens.
Yeah.
But this is more like door closes, glass door opens.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this has gone so well for you.
Yeah.
I know there's been tough moments along the way. So tell us about a moment where you really failed or stumbled or what you would define as a misstep.
I feel like when I first started, everything was just going very well. And I haven't really had many hiccups. I've probably done 40 to 50 events/experiences over the past year.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just making bad decisions. Something that you think is going to go well.
Yeah.
Because I never had a bad review up until I did the Red Room event and we moved it at the Wit Hotel.
Tell us about Red Room and then tell us about the bad review.
The original Red Room, a GM, he brought me to a space and it was under a hotel. It was a speakeasy. He was like, we want to utilize it. And I was like, all right, let's turn on the lights. And it was just like full-blown red down there. I was like, all right, I called one of my DJs. I was like, I want you to activate it. What should we call it? So we're brainstorming, and they were like, let's call it the Red Room. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Very, very easy. I was like, I want something very simple. So we did like from November 2024 up until March, we did like 15 or 20 events down there.
Okay.
And they would just all sell out just so fast.
Yeah.
And so then we started to move it. We call it just a traveling R&B event. And when I brought it to the Wit Hotel, there's some complications, and a lot of people didn't get in that bought a ticket.
Uh-oh.
People are planning their night for this, and then they can't get in. I wasn't aware of all of this.
You were down there.
I was upstairs. The Wit Hotel is 27 floors.
And you didn't know that people weren't getting up.
I didn't know how bad it was.
Okay. So you knew there was an issue.
I knew there was an issue, but it was something at that time that there was nothing I could do because essentially the Wit Hotel is corporate.
Yeah.
They said no one else is getting in. I can't do anything. So I think they had like 500 followers on TikTok. They were like, even a ticket can't get me into the Red Room because it would sell out so fast. And I just seen all the people outside. I was like, oh my God.
This is kind of good marketing, by the way, though, right? Or, I mean, how did you experience it when this was going down?
When I seen the video, I'm very big into analytics and numbers, and especially on TikTok, I know when a video is going to go. It's just going to go. So I think it did like 50,000 views or something. So I was like, oh, I got to get into my PR bag. So I waited. That was a Friday night event.
Yeah.
Waited till Monday. I think I put out a 5-minute video on TikTok and just talked about everything. So I took ownership on a few things. I didn't really say too much about the venue, even though it was like out of my control.
Could have, yeah.
For the first time. And then I was just like, yeah, if you need a refund, reach out to me. I think I refunded like $1,000 or something like that.
So you were graceful.
Yeah.
You took ownership and you made it right, which I think is so cool.
Yeah.
What about this on the journey? Like, there are things that we know or that we have learned along the way that we have to unlearn, right? Like, I have this happening sometimes to me where I thought I learned something from my first company, Bonobo, selling pants, and now I'm making pie, which is this app for bringing people together.
Yeah.
And I'll have to unlearn something like from the last one because there are some things to carry forward and there are some things we have to leave behind. What's something that you've learned along the way that you had to unlearn to get to the next step?
Something that I tell a lot of people that are building in real life communities, they'll reach out to me from all over.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to operate and look at yourself as a business.
Yeah.
At first, it was just fun to me.
Yeah.
It is not. It's fun, but like there is a level of seriousness now. So
it's a job now.
It's a job.
Yeah.
So going from 150 person St. Patty's Day to building out a 3,000 person experience to end the summer with a big sponsor, shout out Hennessy, in a year.
Hennessy is now a sponsor of the Pie Podcast as well.
We hope so. It's taken a lot of just like restructuring the brain and understanding like human psychology on, okay, there's plenty of people that don't really do much on the weekends.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to this event because I've seen it on TikTok. I hear the buzz.
Yeah.
So now you have to understand, like, you have to be on your best, we'll call it performance for people.
Yeah.
Because now if they came and it was a bad experience, which people, I would say out of 50 events, I probably have 4 that I don't really like.
Yeah.
That was somebody's first experience.
Yeah, totally.
I wasn't thinking about that first started. I'm just, we're doing a Halloween
And do you
event.
give
We're doing
yourself some grace about that, or are you like, oh shit?
I give myself grace just because I have very thick skin.
Yeah.
People, which I've seen on TikTok, like they'll mention me in their videos, and that's their highest performing video. So anytime there's a level of negativity runs faster than anything positive.
Yeah.
So I just look at it, I digest it, and I try to take something from it.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm such a boots on ground person. It's not like there's like some mystique to Kevin White that you never see. I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, if you have an issue, talk to me, email me, make your video if you want to. Also reach out to me. So just kind of being like humanizing the experience as well. Like I'm very close to you. Like I'm not some entity that is far away that you can't get in touch with.
It comes across, and it's so authentic and sometimes vulnerable and sometimes provocative. I know you have some hot takes on what makes an influencer, right? Like hot takes on like what makes a real influencer, and how do you think about that word? How do you define it?
I've said before, like I don't really like the word influencer, especially as it pertains to Chicago, because I'm a regular person. Everybody's regular. So you attach a number to somebody's name, and now it's a level of, oh, they have this much more importance. I don't look at it like that.
Yeah.
You know, now everywhere I go, somebody recognizes me. But
And how's that feel? Is that fun or not fun, or?
it was cool at first.
Yeah.
Because at first it started with, hey, don't you make videos? Oh, you make those corporate videos. Oh, you did that event. Now it's, oh, you're Kevin White. Now there's people like, I'm just trying to have fun in the universe, and people are like watching you, you know? So it's still very cool. It's humbling, just like you know me by first and last name.
Yeah.
Just off of a glance.
Yeah.
So.
And annoying sometimes, I imagine, right? Or
I talk to everybody, but at the same time, sometimes.
always?
Always.
That's remarkable.
I talk to everybody.
At some point, that won't be possible. But
sometimes, like, I just like to go out, and I just like to be with my people. Sometimes when I go, I don't even like to talk. I just want to, we're at a cocktail lounge. I'm just enjoying the time. But people,
you don't want to be the center of it.
They'll come up to me, how did you get started? And I sit down and I give them whatever they need. You know, for example, I was at Zara, it was at 2024, and somebody stopped me. They were like, I love everything. We stood there and talked for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's cool just to see what you're putting out into the universe is becoming something. But as far as like influencer, what makes it, I think the biggest thing is relatability. There's plenty of great things that are happening for me and have already happened. And I feel like people lose that sense of relatability because they're like, okay, let me tell you how much money I made this past month.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oof, they kind of get turned off by that.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
South Side. So my mother, my grandfather, and my grandmother, we all lived in Auburn, Gresham area. Then after my grandfather passed in 2005, my grandmother was, okay, like, I want to go move to the suburbs.
Yeah.
So then we moved to Mokina, then New Lenox, and then Payless Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing with Chicago, right? Because we have this Midwestern ethos of like, my wife calls it tallest poppy syndrome. Like you don't want to stand out.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's kind of a city where you don't want to try to outshine anyone. And yet, having lived in New York, but being from Chicago and now being back, I feel like we need that audacity, right? We need people who want to shine bright if we're going to build a better Chicago. What's your take? How do you navigate that tension between, multi-generational, grew up, in the city, South Side roots.
Yeah.
And now you have a big platform and there's so much you can do with it. How do you balance the humility with the audacity?
I think it's like my true authentic self is what I said. Like I'm on a quest to meet everybody. So like when I talk to plenty of people, they'll say that and they'll go speak that to the universe.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, don't talk too much about Kevin White because he bought me $100 worth of drinks for no reason. Or he went to sit down with us and curated this free social media chat and is telling people how to like grow on social media. So I think it's just owning into just being a regular guy. That's what I've always like said, being a regular person, but also like not limiting the mindset. I went to New York for the first time in July, and the amount of just, we'll call it motion out in New York and just the connection and the collaboration is much different than Chicago.
Yeah.
And I met with the Posh VIP team, that's a ticketing platform. And they were just like, you have to do more.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, if you're at this level at Chicago, that's great. If you came to New York, that would be nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're right. So now it's just like, how can I bring this here? How can I, talk my shit a little bit more? Mm-hmm. But it's also going to benefit other people as well, just like highlighting our city. So then I could disperse to other, whether it's communities or other creatives in the city.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm a big believer that even if you're from here, if you have the opportunity, it's important to get out and maybe come back or split time because there's some things that we have to unlearn in this city too, right? And
Yeah.
I think what you alluded to makes sense to me, which is there's just like a locomotion and a speed
Yeah.
when you're in New York. And for me, it's fun being back to try to apply that here
Yeah.
and bring that here, but you have to be there to experience it. What advice do you have for someone getting going specifically with taking an offline community, TikTok, Instagram, and converting it into their first in-person event?
I would say like being your authentic self and just like finding different things that have not been done yet. So 2 examples.
Mhm.
I like to go to venues that nobody has been to. I
Mm.
like to be the first one in there
Mm.
because it gives you a level of exclusivity and
Yeah.
attaches to your name.
Okay.
Versus if there was 10 events at at some venue and there's been 7 different event organizers there, it
Yeah.
just now becomes the place to go versus you becoming exclusive
Yeah.
on what you're trying to accomplish and find different things that have not been done yet.
Yeah. How do you find those venues? How do you keep your finger on the pulse of like, oh, that just came up and now I'm going to go do something there? Because probably they're excited about you coming through too, right? Because you're going to help them build business, or how do you?
It's
figure
a
that out?
different experience for me. So for example, there's the new coffee shop that opened up in West Loop. What's it called? Postcard.
Mhm.
And I went there just to check it out today.
Mm-hmm.
Go get a coffee. And I think he's a manager / owner.
Mhm.
He handed me the coffee and he was like, once we get our liquor license, I want to do like a private event and I want you to be the first one in here.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That makes sense for where you are now, but what about from the jump? Like, if I want to do the first one
Yeah.
and that venue owner is like, who are you? Tell us about that moment in the journey of how to approach it.
I think it just has to be, like I said, you're damn near becoming like, you're building out like a mission statement, like what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies, he lives in LA now. He works for All the Smoke podcast, Lucas. He asked me, he wanted to do basketball watch parties. I said, okay, don't try to go sell a venue on a Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah,
It's their busiest days.
totally.
Ask them what their slow day is.
Yeah.
It's probably a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Sell that to them. I could bring you 50 people. Let's say we're doing just, hypothetical numbers. You do $2,000 on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
You bring in 50 people, give them some level of deal.
Yeah.
Half off burger, this, that. Your $2,000 now went to $4,500.
Yeah.
Now, from an optics standpoint, post that on social media. People say, oh, people are congregating here on Tuesday to watch the NBA games.
Yeah.
I'm going to go now.
I love this though, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like approach venues that haven't been tapped.
Yeah.
Figure out when their off nights are, like what's kind of their remnant inventory.
Yeah.
And then inspire them with your mission. And then I guess, do you have just one shot at that point to prove that you can bring the crowd? Or how many people do I need to bring out on a Wednesday night at that watch party for a venue owner to be like, oh, okay, I'll do another one with him?
I think it's, and like I said, I'm such a numbers based person. So like those would be things I would ask. What do you typically do on your slow weekdays?
And when you walk in, you just say, hey, can I talk to the owner? Or you have a chat with whoever's there. And then how do you?
I'd be at a place with some of my buddies and be like, is the GM around?
Yeah. Okay. So
Ye-
you say GM, you go with
Yeah,
that
is the
route.
GM around? Go talk to him. Yeah, every place now, like you could put an event inquiry.
Yeah.
I would encourage people to get on the phone.
Yeah.
So even if you submit that, turn that email into a Google Meet, a Zoom call.
Phone, not in person. Because in person just takes too much time or.
In person, I just feel like a lot of people won't take you that serious for real.
But the phone thing's interesting because I feel like a lot of folks, Gen Z, otherwise, it's like a phone call, was.
I'll
just-
get on that phone.
And you'll say, hey, something like, can I speak to the GM?
Yeah.
Or what is that?
So like I said, the easiest thing to do is just put out an event inquiry on a website. Every venue typically has that because a lot of venues operate on the corporate level for corporate buyouts.
Yeah.
Then, they'll have a description, what are you trying to accomplish? And then once they reach out, can we get on the phone? I could explain it better than an email.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. There's some event coordinator that'll take that call.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when we see you everywhere, by the way, you're always talking about Chicago and your love for the city. Let's say I'm coming in town for a weekend and I've got maybe a lean budget. Lay out a weekend for me or a couple of things that I have to do if I'm the first timer to Chicago.
I say everything is subjective because I'm different on what I like to do. So when I get this DM like 50 times a week, so I'm like, what are you trying to accomplish? So like, let's say somebody was like 28 years old. I don't really care to be in the scene. I want some nice restaurants, some cocktail bars where I could feel like it's kind of busy, but it's not overwhelming. Some of my favorite places to go, one, I don't even want to say this, but I'm going to say it. It's one of the sexiest cocktail spots, especially for date night or whatnot, is After Lounge in West Loop. It's in the Fulton Market area.
Okay.
Nobody really knows about it. You won't see anybody you know there, period. Could start the night there.
Even you?
I'll be there.
But you would see anyone you know there?
No, I have never seen anybody I've known
Wait,
there.
so why are we talking about this?
They still
We
won't
just
go.
spoiled your one spot,
No,
man.
I posted it on TikTok and Instagram.
Okay,
It's kind of expensive though too.
Okay.
It's a high ambiance type of spot. It's low lit. It's real sexy.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for like something upscale like that, now I'll direct anybody over to West Loop and just give them a couple spots. You know, if you're not trying to be in the mix for real, go to Blind Barber for happy hour.
Yeah.
Go there at 6 o'clock. Go to Lasair and sit at the bar for happy hour. You know, things of that nature. Nobu Rooftop. I'm a craft cocktail guy.
What's your go-to?
So if I'm sitting there just for a while, I'll get an old fashioned. If I'm trying to like,
You have a bourbon or a rye of choice here?
shout out my pops, Angel's Envy. So he's a very big bourbon drinker.
I thought you were going to be like, I'm sponsored by Angel's Envy.
Hey, I wish.
If you're with Angel's Envy and you're listening to this.
If you guys see it, you know.
Kevin's dad is for you.
Exactly. Reach out to me. But old fashioned, if I'm trying to like have a night, I'll go to like a Hennessy sidecar.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, cognacs, they warm you up. They get you going. But if I'm trying to just sip on a couple cocktails and not like really a bourbon, I'll get a tequila ginger ale.
God, I miss drinking. I miss drinking. How do you deal with how polarizing everything is online these days? Obviously, last week was a pretty polarizing week in America. You said some words that were inspiring to me. Why don't you share how you're approaching?
I don't like when a lot of, we'll say, tragic events happen, which they do. They happen all the time. But at certain magnitudes, it radicalizes people and gets their mindset, like, you know, going crazy. So what I tell people, don't involve yourself in groupthink, first off. Have your own critical, independent thoughts.
Yeah.
Digest everything as much as possible. I'm a big advocate, though, for being very careful of what you say on the internet, which a lot of people, they don't think like that.
Yeah.
You know, certain people, they'll create a following for anything, right?
Yeah.
400,000 followers and whatnot. And then they speak on certain things without really like
Knowing what they're
talking about and understanding things get clipped out of context. So knowing that, like, I've never been in any internet controversy. I've done so many different, like, have so many different takes, but I understand what to talk about. I think that you need to be able to digest information for yourself.
Yeah.
Form your own opinion versus I could scroll on TikTok or Instagram and digest 25 different opinions and it won't sway me.
Yeah.
Because I'm my own person, I'm my own thinker. Versus you could see something on the internet, take it for face value. I could have just lied to you for no reason, just to fit my agenda.
Yeah.
Versus I do my own research. I'm like, oh, this was different from what they said.
Yeah.
This was a lie.
But here's what I can't figure out, right? Because polarization is what gets attention, right?
Rage bait.
It's the hot take, exactly. But somehow, what you're saying is like there's a way to be more moderated, calibrated, thoughtful, curious.
Yeah.
How do you get attention for that? Like how does someone think about showing up respectfully,
Yeah.
right, and still being attention worthy? I don't know if that's just sort of an innate gift that you have, or is there something that we can take away from it?
I think it's just like framing how you're talking about things. We live in an era of rage bait tremendously.
Yeah.
Whether it's indirect or direct. I think it's going through what is actually being said about certain topics and like, okay, look at the reception that got. I don't have to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I could look at a certain point, a topic, it doesn't matter, and be like, I could talk about this in a totally different light.
Yeah.
That, like you said, it brings a level of curiosity.
Yeah.
It touches on a different point than trying to villainize somebody or trying to like go down a road of, I got 50% on my side. I got 50% that are hating me. Somebody could disagree with me, but I don't think any of my videos are like, I really hate this guy now, which certain people don't understand, like how you frame things. They'll instantly just write you off.
Yeah. And why do you think we forgot how to disagree civilly? And do you think we can relearn that?
I think there's not a lot of real life confrontation anymore. Confrontation doesn't have to be physical by any means.
Yeah.
It's more so, okay, if you have a problem with me, talk to me about it. Get on the phone.
Yeah.
Or let's, like I said, we could discuss things in person. Somebody asked me, like, would you want to do like some open round table discussions? I said I would love to.
Yeah.
You know, because I could see what you're saying on the internet, but it's different
Yeah.
than me listening to you explain it for 4.5 minutes.
So I've had this idea. I want to get your live feedback on it. So the idea is tables, Republicans, Democrats, right, left, 6 people, have it happen in all over, start small.
Yeah.
And then maybe after people have had some conversations, we have a big red, white, and blue party where you wear the color of your party. I don't know, red, blue, and purple.
Yeah.
Do you think people will be up for that? Like, do you think people or is there a group out there that want to sit down and have confrontation and find a way to do it?
Yeah.
Even not to change your mind, because I don't know if anyone's going to change their mind at this point. At least to hear and understand and relate and have empathy.
Yeah.
Do you think people want that, or some small group of people do?
Yeah. Something that I say, I'm like, if we're looking at right-wing topics, right-wing values, left-wing values, whatever, and I put them on a whiteboard, and I said, if I put 20 of them, I said, pick 10 that you value in your life. Majority of Americans, I think, swing just in like moderate. So
Yeah.
you would pick some conservative values.
Yeah.
You would pick.
Would you put yourself in there?
I voted like liberal Democrat. That's just like what my family does. But
Yeah.
I have an open mind to everything because I understand, like, realistically, there are things that are conservative values. I'm like, yeah, I value that. That doesn't make you a bad person.
I heard this term like radical moderate, and I guess that's kind of how I feel at this point. I was pretty left when I was living in New York. Chicago has brought me back to the center. I didn't have friends who had different political beliefs for a long time, and then I was splitting time between New York City and Northwest Arkansas for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I started to spend time with folks in Northwest Arkansas during the first Trump era, and I had this realization. I was like, I like these people.
Yeah.
And you realize how much proximity informs belief. So, thanks for what you're doing to moderate the discussion. I think you said lower the temperature. What does that mean to you?
Like I said, it's different when I could look at your Instagram story and then I'm just trying to formulate what I think of you versus if we sat down and had a conversation. So it's something that I got from my dad. Like, my dad, I've never heard him yell, ever. I could have a civil conversation with anybody.
What did Dad do growing up, and what's he up to now? Sounds like a legend.
A story that I say, I was literally just talking about this. I've talked about it so many times. So my dad, he had to move out when he was 13. Went to the military when he was 18, had me at 24.
Which branch of the military?
He was in the Army, so he was serving in Desert Storm.
Okay.
By the time he was 32, he was making $250,000 like in real estate sales and all of that. Now he's like VP of a mortgage like company and all of that. So for him and all of the stories that he's told me, it's just having, taking ownership and accountability over your life. That's why when I was 13, I was playing Nintendo DS, playing Pokemon. And he was damn near full-fledged adult in his mind trying to make ends meet. He went to Lane Tech. So it got to a point, he was missing so many days of school because he had to go live with, I think, his aunt in Detroit, but he didn't have train fare,
Wow.
So it got to a point, they were like, if you miss X amount more days,
Yeah.
you're essentially expelled.
Yeah.
And so then he just made it work. So he's always an advocate for just life is going to hit you with obstacles and whatnot. But it's just how you respond to certain things. So that's how I even look at conversations. It's like things are going to happen. So whether we're talking about tragic events or if I host an event and something happens, I'm like, okay, it's happened. How are we going to go from here and correct it? Or, rectify the situation. Everything can be rectified. But I feel like a lot of people operate in a very emotional standpoint. Even what I was telling you when I got laid off, I was just like, oh, this is over.
Yeah.
It's over at 25. It's done. But my dad was like, you're fine.
What's your dad's name?
Kevin.
Oh, there we go.
Kevin
Senior?
Kevin Senior.
Well, shout out to Kevin Senior. He
Yes.
seems like an incredible guy. Any other stories from childhood? Maybe times where you fell flat or failed at something or struggled with something or something bad happened to you that inform who you are now?
I really wouldn't say I had a rough childhood whatsoever, to be honest. My mom and my dad, they separated when I was an infant. My dad was always in my life, but my mom worked her ass off. My dad will say this, like, I made a video talking about how my parents never spoke bad about each other to me.
Yeah. And what did mom do growing up?
FedEx driver. That's how they met. Working at FedEx. She's up for early retirement. I think, what's that, 35 years or something like that. But just making ends meet to give me a life.
She works at corporate, or she's still driving?
Driving.
Still.
Wow.
Still.
She's been on the road for 35 something plus years, but she's a hustler. Like, she started her own cleaning business and I used to help her do that. So she was like, there's always a way to, make things shake. You You just have to actually go do it.
I love what you said back to the world of events on We're the New Adults about like the role of hosts, the role of guests. Tell us what you meant by that.
Over the past year and a half, I've seen on the internet people complaining about what the 80s or the 90s was like. I'm like, we are the new adults. So if we don't do it, who is going to do it? You have to take initiative. So it's like all the people that are doing events in Chicago.
Yeah.
And when I tell people to give people grace, because your larger corporations don't care to do anything, to be honest, unless it makes sense financially.
Yeah, capitalist.
Right? So I'm like, give people grace. These are your regular people, civilians that are trying to organize things. And as things can grow, sponsorships can come and we can make it bigger and whatnot. But you have to take the initiative. You can't sit back and just wait for things to happen. People are like, oh, what happened to house parties? Host something at your house. You have to do it. So that's even why I was talking about organizing, and it's like in the works, like a spades Uno night.
Mm-hmm.
Community, to me, I've gotten away from using that word because it's become a buzzword.
It has, hasn't it?
For certain things, like this is a party. We're at a cocktail spot. We're at a dinner. Like it's a party. But if I could organize a level of activity, that now is going to bring conversation. It's even like myself and Jordan, shout out Jordan, we hosted a couple workouts over the summer. 50 people in a gym, you're all there for the same purpose. So it's easier for me to have a conversation unless, besides if there's 150 people at a cocktail bar, it's, you might not want to be bothered, but it's, like I said, it's easier to like break that barrier. For me, it's just being more intentional what we're doing. I'm about to be 30, so hosting dinner parties at my house, doing oddball things. So we have a group chat. It's like 10 of us called activities.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about organizing.
Friends of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about organizing flag football, kickball. Let's go apple picking. Like we just have to do more things that are going to bring us together, but it takes somebody to do it. And that's why I was like, you just be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a hot take on Soho House and third spaces. Tell us about that.
I don't really have a hot take. It's just like, people are trying to like form their own opinion on somebody else's personal experiences.
Yeah.
So I can say Soho is great. It's great for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. It might not make sense for you.
Mm-hmm.
So is my experience or is it invalidated if you get a Soho membership and you're like, Kevin White said it was good, but it sucks for me? It's great for me. I'm there all the time. I do business meetings there, and it could be a third space. I think people just need to find what works for them.
Yeah.
So whether there's plenty of them, and you have Soho, you have Third Cities, you have East Bank, you have smaller ones or whatnot. Find what works for you. I don't think membership clubs are to build friendships.
Yeah.
I think people think that.
What do you think they're for?
To me, it's for exclusivity, business, and utilizing the events that are actually at the house.
Yeah.
Soho has probably 50 events a month.
Yeah.
People don't go to anything.
But you go for the content, not necessarily for like the camaraderie.
No, I'm not going to an event to hopefully find a friend. I have 500 friends, so I'm not paying for friendship.
Yeah.
By all means, it works for certain people,
Yeah.
but you can get let down by that.
Yeah.
Versus me and a couple of my business partners, we went to a round table for the founders of ArcFest, and we were able to talk to them, get contact information to get access to some venues.
Yeah.
You're going for it for a reason. So it makes sense for me in that, I just got close to this person and now we could do this, versus like hoping people that are doing work at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday are going to come talk to me.
I think it's so important because you name something most people don't talk about, which is like exclusivity and the role that money has and like leveling up your network.
Yeah.
Tell us about how someone should think about that, right? Because it tends to be like an anti-exclusive thing where it's all about inclusivity.
See,
where exclusivity is sometimes like the gates are important. They play a role. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I talk about proximity so much and putting yourself in environments, places, that's environment, but just, in positions where you're going to meet the people that you want to meet or you want to be around, right? Yeah. So for me, if there was a membership club that was $10,000 a year, naturally I would think there's wealthy people there.
Yeah.
I have a business, a few. I could go spark up conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
They don't have to be a friend. It's just a connection. Oh, what do you do? Oh, whatever. Everything isn't for everybody. People hate to hear that.
Yeah.
But it's like that's just not how that's not how life is.
It's not how it works.
It's not. People want it to be, but something my dad says, you have to live in a facts-based reality. We could say what we want the world to be, but it doesn't operate like that.
Yeah.
There are plenty of different places that sometimes it's going to require you to spend money, or it's going to be out of your net worth per se. That's okay.
So it's okay to convert some of your winnings into being more proximate to more kinds of folks you want to be around. It's like the kind of the country club of old, right?
Yeah. I go to a lot of places by myself in a sense of if I get invited to something, I'll go because I know who's going to be there. I have no problem speaking to somebody, but just for anybody, it might be hard to be in a room of 60 people and you don't know a single person.
Yeah, what do you do? So tell me that. I just walk into a room, 60 people, I don't know anyone. What's my game plan? Go to the bar.
Go to the bar. The easiest way that I do is spark up conversation there. Just like, oh, what are you drinking? Introduce myself.
Okay, like something low key that.
Yeah, a conversation tip that I give people: please just pour into whoever you're talking to.
Wait, what does that mean?
Being curious about the person you're speaking to. What do you do? Where do you come from?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Like, how do you know said person?
It's funny to me how people don't realize that curiosity is one of the best ways to invite.
Correct.
Reciprocal curiosity. What do you do when someone has no questions for you?
I'm a talker, so it does not matter to me because when I get in an environment, I could just talk. It does not matter. So I would just say, just keep pouring into said person. They'll eventually be open and receptive to like, oh, I was talking to somebody a week ago, and I was just talking to them for 20 minutes, and they were like, I'm so sorry, I haven't asked you about anything.
Yeah.
And I said, well, this is my first time meeting you, so I'm curious about what you do.
Yeah.
And so then the conversation can flip. I think conversation it's a skill. Communication is a skill. Like, you just got to practice it too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's an unpopular opinion that you have? Or what's something that you believe that the fewest people you know believe?
I would say something unpopular, and I kind of touched on it, but I would say 90% of your life is dictated on the decisions that you make, period. I feel like we're in a realm of very low accountability. I could acknowledge that external factors can happen, but majority of your situation is due to you. People complain about dating sucks in Chicago. They complain there's nothing to do. They complain about Chicago sucks.
Yeah.
There's people simultaneously saying the dating in Chicago is great.
Yeah.
Nightlife events, awesome. I love Chicago. Who's right? So it's more so just being accountable for how your perspective on the world. I take accountability for everything. Even if there's external factors, I'll be like, damn, like I should have realized that. Yeah. That's on me. So like once you take onus of everything, it's easier for like to have better outcomes and on your situation. So I don't blame anybody for anything. Yeah. You know, I blame it all on me every single time. I feel like we're just in this loose accountability stage of life, you know, so even if I was saying like my relationships with people are bad, I'm just like, am I all the way there mentally? Is there something that's blocking that? Like I put it on me all the time. If people started to do that, I think the world could be a little bit better.
I love that you say this. I've got a mentor who says it's all your fault. So, and this is specific to like founder building something, which is if anything's going wrong, it's your fault. Like someone's not working out, you hire that person. You don't like your board, you raise money from those people. Yeah. You know, the company's not working, well, you decided what the company should do. So I like that, like internalize. Kevin, what is the kindest thing anyone's ever done for you?
I don't know if I could say like pinpoint one thing. I would say when I got laid off in 2022 and that long period of time, my best friend, we've been best friends since we were 5 years old. We had a conversation January 6th, 2023.
I love how you remember these dates. I hope you remember the date for this podcast. It has a similar place in your heart.
I'll remember it. But
I don't even know what the date is.
It was the best conversation I ever had in my life. And I think it saved my life in a sense of the trajectory that I'm on now.
Whoa, what's your best friend's name?
Blaine, right. It was a very emotional just conversation. I was just very raw. I was like, this is the first time in my life I don't know where I'm going. Yeah. And he was like, you're the strongest person I know. You're one of the most resilient people that I know. He was like, I'll do anything for you. I hope you know that. And we really we grew up together, but I feel like as men, like you don't touch on topics and get real deep all the time. And like we were just both in like tears. It was just very emotional. We would talk for an hour.
This is a phone call.
No, it's in person.
Okay.
It was in person. And
It was that night. It was the night you got fired.
no. That was July 14th of 2022.
Okay. Oh, got it.
This was
later.
January 6th of 2023. It was
Oh,
a
'cause
Friday.
you didn't have a job yet. You were kind of still,
Yeah.
still in it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it was, my birthday is January 3rd. So I was just in a weird spot. Like, I'm celebrating my birthday, but a lot of stuff isn't
feeling
going my way. This at the 3rd. And it was such a real, raw conversation. I was just like, it instilled in me why he is a brother to me. We talk every single day.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that was the best conversation that I ever
Talk,
had.
not just text.
Yeah. Like, we'll be on the phone, like texting, like back and forth, just like sending each other stuff. I mean, he lives in West Loop. I see him all the time. So
Yeah.
whether he knows it or not, because I don't think that conversation, he probably thinks about that a lot.
Yeah.
I think about it every single day.
Let's call him.
We could call him.
Let's call him.
We could call him. Let's see if he answers. Let's see. What you doing? I'm on a podcast right now. I was talking about, I got to ask the question, what was the kindest thing somebody has done for me? And if you remember our conversation, January 6, 2023, that Friday when Austin was here, after my birthday, I was just talking about like how real and emotional that conversation is. You're on speakerphone, by the way.
Hi, Blaine.
Andy Dunn. He was the founder of Bonobos.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, Blaine, I just wanted you to know how highly Kevin thinks of what you did for him that day. So I thought it'd be fun for us to give you a shout.
I appreciate it. I'm sure he told you how far back we go. So
We'll leave you alone now, but Blaine, you sound like a good dude. I hope to meet you one day.
yeah, likewise.
All right, I'll talk to you, buddy. Peace.
I love that. He was like, what is going on right now?
He's going to call me later like, yo, what did you just call me
No,
for?
you're a good sport.
Yeah.
So just one last question, Kevin. When all is said and done, what do you hope people said or say about the way that you show up?
Yeah, impact is very big to me. I would like talk to my dad about this and how I look at life. I feel like it's phenomenal to be just a regular civilian, ordinary.
Mhm.
I just never wanted to just be a regular civilian. I want to do something that's impacting the world. Even at what I'm doing right now is like impacting the Chicago social scene. But I just want to like create safe spaces for people. I say that all the time. Like what we're doing is always for the people and creating a safe environment where we can go out, you can meet somebody, and then how can we take it to a bigger scale? So even thinking about from a year and a half, 2 years ago, like I said, just hosting 100 people to putting on experiences for 2,500, 3,000 people, so many entities, much larger than I would ever think would ever reach out to me. Like even, like I said, I was on Fox 32, just talking about the Chicago like social scene. So
Crazy.
it's more so like creating an environment where people feel welcome and then pouring into other people as well. You know, I've talked to so many, you know, in real life communities in Chicago, just helping them like get their footing. But also, like I said, it's providing a great stigma for Chicago. I love Chicago so much. Chicago has a bad stigma, as we'll say it's because of news, politics, whatever.
Yeah.
But really just pouring into the city, you know, pouring into the city. When people come here, I get DMs every single day of like, I hear you're the guy for Chicago. Like, do you have anything going? Like, I hear so many great things. That just means so much. So it means I'm doing something. So I would just say, one, revamping the Chicago culture, going out seeing, but also providing safe spaces for people to thrive, meet people, and create organic relationships.
Kevin, you are so far from an ordinary civilian. I think you're an extraordinary person.
Thank you.
You're doing such great things for the city, for the world at large. I can't wait to see what you go do. Why don't you tell folks where they can find you?
You can find me on TikTok. It's kevin.preston.white. And then you can find me on Instagram. That's kevin.p.white.
Amazing. It's been great having you. Just a reminder, we're Pi. So excited to sponsor the Humble Pie podcast, where we like to talk about when the shit hits the fan and how to convert it. We're a social app for bringing people together. You can find us at getpi.app. You can follow us at Pi. And always happy to see you most places at Done. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.